Mr. Kelly.
Oh, hey, Sergeant.
What's all this?
With all the time I've been home, I put in a Zen garden.
What an amazing place to balance your chi.
It is. And with a personal loan from PenFed, I was able to borrow the entire cost, up to $50,000, at a great low rate with no hidden fees and a simple pre-qualify.
But you're not in the military.
Everyone gets great rates at PenFed, whether you're in uniform or not.
I feel more enlightened already.
PenFed Credit Union. Visit PenFed.org/loans. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
You might have noticed a change in your neighborhood lately. Yep, Sprint stores are now T-Mobile stores. Now that Sprint is T-Mobile, you get more coverage, value, and benefits than ever before. We've invested billions to bring our 5G from big cities to small towns across America. And great coverage is just the start. From high-speed mobile hotspot data to weekly deals and giveaways, our customers get tons of great benefits. Head to your new T-Mobile store to learn more.
Qualifying service and capable device required. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain plan or features. See T-Mobile.com.
Andy, listen, the man is just about to say it.
Yeah, let's everybody listen.
The greatest radio programs of all time.
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
The CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind.
This is classic radio theater.
Want to get away from it all?
The FBI in Peace and War.
Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
The unexpected.
The unexpected.
The unexpected.
Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends.
We go back 3/4 of a century to October 14th, 1946, for the signal oil program The Whistler and the Weak Sister. We thank you for tuning in on this Sure Happy It's Thursday, 14th day of October, 287th day of the year, 78 days remaining until we get to 2022. The United Kingdom's East India Company tea ships cargo burned at Annapolis, Maryland in 1773. In 1789, George Washington proclaimed the first Thanksgiving Day. George Eastman patented paper strip photographic film on this date in 1884. And in 1910, English aviator Claude Graham White landed his Farman biplane on Executive Avenue, now Pennsylvania Avenue, near the White House. While campaigning in Milwaukee, former President Teddy Roosevelt shot by saloon keeper John Schrank on this date in 1912. With a fresh flesh wound and the bullet still in him, Roosevelt still delivered his scheduled speech. In 1916, sophomore tackle and guard Paul Robeson excluded from the Ringers football team when Washington and Lee University refused to play against a black person. That was in 1916. Tell me we haven't come a long way in 105 years? Yeah. The children's book Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne, first published in 1926, and in 1933, Nazi Germany withdrew from the League of Nations. In 1947, Chuck Yeager flew a Bell X-1 faster than the speed of sound. He would be the first man to do so in level flight.
Took the roster of all of our test pilots. We had 125 at the time, I believe, and went over this roster in great detail and selected about 25 pilots that we considered qualified for the flight. We then called in each of these pilots and interviewed them, of course having quite a bit of personal knowledge of their attitude and ability. And we'd hoped to find a pilot that didn't have a family, one who wasn't married preferably. After interviewing all of the pilots, we always came back to Yeager. He had demonstrated his ability on numerous occasions in our presence and the various flight demonstrations at the field and also in test work.
Air Force Colonel Alan Boyd on the selection of Yeager to make that flight. In 1949, 11 leaders of the U.S. Communist Party convicted after a 9-month trial of conspiring to advocate the violent overthrow of the U.S. government. In 1962, a U-2 flight over Cuba took photographs of Soviet nuclear weapons being installed. That was the beginning of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Leonid Brezhnev became General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and leader of the Soviet Union, ousting Nikita Khrushchev. In 1964, on that same date, American civil rights movement leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. became the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize.
I do not consider this merely an honor to me personally, but a tribute to the discipline, wise restraint, and majestic courage of the millions of gallant Negroes and white persons of goodwill who have followed a nonviolent course in seeking to establish a reign of justice and a rule of love across this nation of ours.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on receiving the Nobel Peace Prize 57 years ago today. The first live telecast from a manned U.S. spacecraft, Apollo 7, on this date in 1968. Citing official misconduct in the investigation and trial, Amnesty International charged the U.S. government with holding Richard Marshall of the American Indian Movement as a political prisoner. In 1998, Eric Robert Rudolph charged with 6 bombings, including the 1996 Centennial Olympic Park bombing in Atlanta. In 2012, Felix Baumgartner successfully jumped to Earth from a helium balloon in the stratosphere in the Red Bull Stratos project. And it was on this date in 2014, Utah State University received a bomb threat against feminist media critic Anna Sarkeesian, who was to give a lecture the next day. Passing away on this date in history, Australian actor Errol Flynn, Dame Edith Evans, Bing Crosby, Keenan Wynn, Leonard Bernstein, the fine composer-conductor, what was it that he was called? Curmudgeon at Large, Cleveland Amory, a television critic and a very staunch animal rights activist. Also musician Frankie Yankovic passing away on this date. Freddie Fender, Wasted Days and Wasted Nights. Pro wrestler Lou Albano, manager and quite the character as I understand it. And you remember him from Falcon Crest and a bunch of motion pictures, Simon McCorkindale, passing away on this date in history. This is the birthday of Pennsylvania founder William Penn. President Eisenhower, born on this date as well. Probably best known to a lot of our listeners. You hear a lot of the stuff talking about the activities in World War II. Actress Lillian Gish, poet E.E. Cummings, born on this date. Benita Hume, Mrs. Ronald Coleman, born on this date. The best-known Surgeon General of the USC, Everett Koop. Saxophonist Bill Justice, Honky Tonk. Actor Roger Moore. WWE's Nikolai Volkov. And from Night Court, Harry Anderson. Happy birthday number 83 to Watergate figure John Dean. Fashion designer Ralph Lauren is 82 today. Singer Cliff Richard, Why We Don't Talk Anymore. From BJ and the Bear, My Two Dads, and Tech War. What a bunch of different acts that Greg Evigan played a part in. He is 68 today. Musician Thomas Dolby, Blinded You with Science at 63. From Tank Girl, Lori Petty, 58. Singer Usher, 43 today. Actress and former pro wrestler Stacy Keibler, 42. From Bratz and Super Babies, Skylar Shea is 35. And from The Guiding Light and the Bold and the Beautiful, Mackenzie Mousey is 33. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 14th day of October as their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you.
From 75 years ago, Monday, October 14th, 1946, The Whistler. That'll be up next on this Thursday, Classic Radio Theater.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. It's because MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network, so yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Classic Radio Theater friends, my feet always hurt. They really do. And if your feet hurt, can I make a suggestion to try Mike Lindell's My Slippers? They are probably the most comfortable things I've had on my feet in years. But they're more than just a bedroom slipper, an indoor-outdoor slipper with 3-tiered cushioning system that combines 2 layers of this foam with a patented impact gel to keep you from ever wanting to take them off. They're beautifully finished with leather, suede, faux fur linings, indoor-outdoor, so you can wear them anywhere. And Mike guarantees these will be the most comfortable things you'll ever put on your feet, or you'll get your money back. 60-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. You can save 40% when you go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Mike Lindell's My Slippers will be the best thing you ever put on your feet, or you'll get your money back.
If cancel culture and censorship continue at their current pace, there will soon be nothing left of the truth. The Epoch Times was founded to keep truth alive. We ask the questions we think you'd ask. We check facts without regards to any political agenda. No one tells us what to cover or how to cover it. We're not influenced by big corporations or political parties. Our great passion is to expose the spread of socialism and communism. We cover the Chinese Communist Party and how it works to subvert American education and politics. We cover big issues like election integrity, the exploding national debt, the fight against coronavirus, and the truth about its origins. We cover Democrats and Republicans in exactly the same way. We have a special trial subscription offer right now. 1 month of our printed paper and total access to our amazing online content for just $1. You'll find it at trustednewspaper.com. 1 month, $1. Trustednewspaper.com. Help the Epoch Times keep truth alive.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
You might have noticed a change in your neighborhood lately. Yep, Sprint stores are now T-Mobile stores. Now that Sprint is T-Mobile, you get more coverage, value, and benefits than ever before. We've invested billions to bring our 5G from big cities to small towns across America. And great coverage is just the start. From high-speed mobile hotspot data to weekly deals and giveaways, our customers get tons of great benefits. Head to your new T-Mobile store to learn more.
Qualifying service and capable device required. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain plan or features. See T-Mobile.com.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, we go back 75 years to October 14th, 1946. The Whistler.
The Signal Oil Program, The Whistler. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil Program, The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
Yes, friends, it's time for the Signal Oil Program, The Whistler. Rated by independent research, the most popular West Coast program. In gasoline, you know, it takes extra quality to go farther. And Signal is the famous Go Farther gasoline. So look for the signal circle sign in yellow and black that identifies signal service stations from Canada to Mexico. And now the Whistler's strange story. Weak Sister.
Bertilda stood at the window looking apprehensively at the old burying ground at the foot of the hill. A little group of people from the village down the road stood in twos and threes around the open grave of Captain Ethan Haskell. Bertilda always liked to stand at the window like this, watching through the dingy lace curtain. Yes, today especially, with Captain Ethan being laid away. There was a strange fascination in her timid little face, a look of morbid curiosity in her pale blue eyes. She didn't hear her older sister, Amanda, come up behind her.
Matilda?
Oh, Amanda, you frightened me.
Matilda Sterling, pull down that window. It's beginning to rain. Land's sakes, you'd think after all these years you'd have enough sense to be careful.
Right, Amanda. Now I'm not going to be able to see the hearse when it comes.
Oh, if you ain't the limit, Bertie. You said you didn't want to go to Captain Ethan's funeral.
I like funerals, but they always frighten me so.
When a body has lived 50 years overlooking a graveyard, it appears to me they ought to be used to it. Here, let me look.
Be careful with the curtains. They'll see you.
We got a right to look out of our windows. Look at that. They'll get soaked to the skin, all of them. Just like Captain Ethan to be late for his own burial.
It's no way to talk about the dead.
Nonsense, Bertie. Look at the sheriff down there. The doctor, too. They wasn't particularly friendly with the captain, Bertie. What do you suppose they're doing down there at the burial, huh?
Rolling up your collar ain't going to keep off the rain, Doc.
That's not what give me the chill, Sheriff.
I know what you mean.
Don't turn round. Keep your back to the house. I can feel them watching us through that dining room window.
They're a queer pair.
30 years ago, I told them, Sheriff. Move out of that gloomy old house. Mix with people, for it's too late.
Still mighty hard to believe she'd poison a man, Doc.
If you'd stopped this funeral nonsense, I'd have had proof for you by now.
Had to wait for Enoch Haskell to authorize the autopsy. But with him being the brother of the deceased, only living relative...
Funeral's a waste of time anyway. I recommend you don't fill in over the coffin. Only going to have them to dig him up again.
You don't suppose Amander'll show up, do you?
She's smart enough to know it'll look queer if she doesn't show up. Ask me. I think she's fixing to come down right now.
Sterling, what you doing with that umbrella? You're not going out into the rain.
I'm going down to the burial ground. Decided one of us ought to pay last respects to Ethan Haskell.
You'll catch a desert cold.
Probably will. Look queer if I didn't go, though. No wonder his brother Enoch didn't come back to town today. Seems he ought to be here for the burying.
Maybe he didn't want to come.
Oh, likely. I never knew a Haskell that wasn't a stubborn contender.
You're talking about the dead again. Ethan's dead now.
Land's sake alive. To listen to you, anybody would think we had to watch our tongues, or our neighbors down there in the graveyard would rise up in their shrouds and...
Please, Amanda, don't say such things.
All right, Bertie. I'm going now. Expect you'll want to lock yourself in.
I'm so frightened when you're gone.
No sense to it, of course. You can watch from the window.
Be careful, Amanda. The rain.
Don't worry. I'll throw my coat over me.
Oh, there comes the casket now. Pretty one with silver trimmings. They're moving back to make way for it. All mourning him. Amanda, too. I wonder what they'd say if they knew she fed him those poison preserves. I wonder.
fascinating thing to watch, isn't it, Bertie? This burial service for Captain Ethan, there in the graveyard at the foot of the hill. You hardly notice the wind and rain coming in the open window as you stand there, because your mind is somewhere else. On the dinner Amanda served the three of you a few nights ago in this very house. Of the special peach preserve she served to the captain. Of the telephone call in the middle of the night. And the news that he had been found dead in the road where he'd fallen on his way home from the dinner. And you can see her down there now, piously mourning the captain's passing. Yes, that does make it more interesting, doesn't it? The mourners finally disperse and night settles over the graveyard. You're alone a few minutes more and then Manda returns.
Here, take my umbrella. I want to make a telephone call.
You stayed so long. Shall I light a fire, Manda?
Good idea. Seems as though this place is never really warm. We should have sold it when Father died. Well, what are you waiting for?
Nothing, Manda.
I know what you're after. You just want to hear what I'm...
Operator.
Will you please call the Sheriff, Luella?
Anything the matter, Manda?
I haven't time to stand here gabbing, Luella. Just ring Sheriff Harris. And don't bother to listen in.
Well, I never.
Always makes me feel better to say a thing straight out. No use beating around the bush.
Sheriff Harris speaking.
Sheriff, this is Amanda Sterling. I want to put in a complaint about that gravedigger, Ed Parker.
What's wrong, Manda?
That grave's still open out there. He didn't fill it in.
Be filled in due course, Manda. Nothing to worry about. Guarantee old Ethan ain't going to climb out and go wandering round.
That isn't the point.
Better go pull your shades down, Manda, and mind your own business.
Well, if you think I pay taxes to listen to that kind of... Let me tell you, Fred Harris, if that grave ain't filled in tomorrow, I'm going straight to the town council. Goodbye. Of all the impudence.
Amanda, is the grave really open?
Yes, it's open. I ought to go down and teach him a thing or two about manners.
What did he say?
Never mind. No use fretting you two. Now, where'd you put my umbrella?
There in the corner.
Well, I'm not going to worry about it. Some folks like the sheriff always has something impertinent to say. Oh. Here. Look what I tucked inside my umbrella.
The flower. Lily.
Yes. I picked it up from the grave when the rest had gone. It's pretty, isn't it? Any water in the vase on the mantel?
Manda, you've got to take it back now.
Don't be silly, Bertie.
You must, Manda. It belongs to the dead.
Don't expect Ethan will come back for it. Now let me see.
You're doing that to torture me. You take a flower from a grave, the dead will come to take it back. Now, don't let it touch me.
Oh, nonsense.
You put it on the mantel. I won't stay in this house another minute. He'll come for it, I tell you. He'll come for it.
Now you know what'll happen, Bertie. Working yourself up that way with your heart the way it is.
Take it back. That's all I want. Take it back.
Oh, the silliest thing I ever heard of. This superstition of yours. All right, Bertie. I'll take it back to the grave. But just to show you there's nothing to be afraid of, I'm going to take you with me. Watch your step, Matilda.
Cruel of you to make me do this, Manda.
Nonsense. It's high time someone showed you how ridiculous it is to be afraid of such things. That dratted storm. Body can't see 10 feet.
There. There's headstone, Manda. Put the flashlight on.
What do you think I've been trying to do? It won't work.
A flash of lightning.
Nothing to be afraid of.
No, not that. Somebody's over there by that grave.
If you're going to start imagining things, I will... Oh, there is someone over there.
It's the flower. He's coming for his flower.
Be quiet, Bertie.
Captain Ethan. Manda is coming.
It does look like him. Now get hold of yourself.
I'm getting dizzy.
Now,
help me, Manda.
Don't you go fainting on me. Oh, my goodness, the flashlight. If I could... there we are. Who's there? Who? Oh. It's you.
Yes, Amanda. It's me.
Bertie, look. It's only Enoch, Bertie. It's Captain Ethan's brother. Bertie!
Yeah, well, what's the matter?
You scared the life out of her, that's what. Looking around like a spook. Here, help me with her.
Yeah.
There we are.
My medicine.
Well, now here you are, dear. Lucky I always carry it with me.
Enoch. It was only Enoch.
Yes, dear, yes. Only Enoch.
From October 14th, 1946, The Whistler. On this Thursday, Classic Radio Theater, the news from 75 years ago is next.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
All right, we're here with Nina, who is hosting a little Tuesday get-together.
And she has gone all out.
Yep, she's done the fancy charcuterie thing.
Look at those solid maple serving boards.
So classy.
And those gold rim side plates? Gorgeous.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And she got it all at Marshall's for way less.
Even the cheese?
No, not the cheese, but that to die for sequin top.
Marshall's?
Yep, Marshall's. Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook is ready to make this football season one to remember. All season long, you can score at Bet Rivers Sportsbook with free bets, odds boosts, and more. With player props, thousands of game lines, and live in-game betting, Bet Rivers Sportsbook delivers a best-in-class sports betting experience and has an experienced customer service team to back it up. Visit Bet Rivers Sportsbook today and bet this football season with the local trusted team that puts you first. Go to BetRivers.com and be a winner.
Presented by Rivers Casino Portsmouth. Must be 21. Play in Virginia only. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Classic Radio Theater friends and family, you've heard me talk about the Giza Dream Sheets. I love them. They are comfortable. They are made from Giza cotton. And I have to tell you that the Giza cotton is very, very comfortable. It's probably the most comfortable sheets I have ever had. They are equipped with the 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty. They are available in multiple colors, styles, and sizes. The sateen weave, luxurious finish, and the Giza cotton from the area between the Sahara, the Mediterranean, the Nile River. You've heard me talk about that. It is ultra soft, breathable, especially for this time of year. You need that. Right now, you can get 50% off with my promo code USA as low as $49.99. But you have to use my promo code USA when you go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener square. Use that promo code USA. You'll not only get 2-for-1 pricing as low as $49.99 on these wonderful Giza cotton sheets, and along with other things you'll find at the MyPillow.com website, including the lowest price ever on a MyPillow, $29.98 for regular and queen, and the kings are $5 more. 30% off a MyPillow mattress topper plus 2 free standard pillows. You'll love the mattress topper. I know I do as well. So many great things you will find just by going to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Giza Dream Sheets, My Slippers, My Pillow Premium Pillows, they're all available at deep discounts at MyPillow.com, promo code USA. MyPillow.com.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
The best way to describe Mickey D's Crispy Chicken Sandwich is Crispy Juicy Tender. And yes, it's all one word. Crispy Juicy Tender is like fire-lit smacking, trap-based crunk, child tea, ooh-wee, and then some. Everything you could want in a chicken sandwich. McDonald's Crispy Chicken Sandwich.
Buy any Crispy Chicken Sandwich and get medium fries and drink for free. Offer available only in the app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Valid once per day through 12/31/2021 at participating McDonald's. McD app download and registration required.
All right. right, we're here with Nina, who is hosting a little Tuesday get-together.
And she has gone all out.
Yep, she's done the fancy charcuterie thing.
Look at those solid maple serving boards.
So classy.
And those gold rim side plates? Gorgeous.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And she got it all at Marshall's for way less.
Even the cheese?
No, not the cheese, but that to die for sequin top.
Marshall's?
Yep, Marshall's. Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.
And you're listening to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station on this Thursday, an episode of the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, A Weak Sister, as it was originally broadcast Monday, October 14th, 1946. In the newspapers of that Monday 75 years ago, these were some of the headlines. The Ministry of the Interior announced that the French electorate in the referendum had approved the proposed constitution for France's Fourth Republic by more than 1 million votes. This approval came despite the opposition of General Charles de Gaulle, the nation's wartime leader, who charged that the document drafted by the Constituent Assembly would create a France too weak to maintain its independence in a struggle between the East and West, between the United States and Russia, as he portrayed it. Mohammed al-Jinnah announced that the Muslim League, which he heads, will enter the interim Indian government, ensuring a coalition cabinet while a Constituent Assembly writes the constitution that will determine India's future. Jinnah made known the League's decision in a letter to Viceroy Lord Wavell, saying the Muslims would appoint 5 members to the Executive Council, as the British had proposed. A party of 200 persons, including a doctor, dentist, and nurses, expect to leave within 2 weeks to get a new town started in Alaska in the Chilkoot Barracks, 15 miles south of Skagway. Major Carl W. Heinmiller of nearby Berea, a founder of the Veterans Alaska Cooperative Company, which bought the fully equipped barracks from the Interior Department as surplus property for $105,000, expressed hope yesterday of having a thriving community operating there by the spring. And automobile radio continued its blaring of the World Series baseball game yesterday as the smashed car in which an elderly woman had died was dragged away from a highway bridge. 67-year-old Mrs. Gertrude McCarthy was killed, State Highway Patrolman Brian Hockenberry and Orland Jones said when the car in which she was riding alone crashed into a bridge northeast of Bondurant, Iowa, on Highway 64. The nation's meat-hungry citizens awaited President Truman's decision on whether he intended to lift price controls on meat or keep them on and risk the ire of the voters in the congressional elections next month. Best indications were that Truman will stand by his guns and not call for decontrol of meat when he goes on the air tonight for a 15-minute discussion of the administration's entire stabilization program. The Russian newspaper Izvestia reported that Mademoiselle Eugenia Cotton, French president of the International Democratic Federation of Women, had charged that the American embassy in Paris had refused to visa her passport for the U.S., where she had been invited by Mrs. Franklin D. Roosevelt and the International Assembly of Women. Izvestia saying Mademoiselle Cotton had made the charge before the executive meeting in Moscow of the Women's Federation. Jane Wellfish, the U.S. delegate, told the executive that we intend after the tour of Russia to return to the U.S. and raise the question before the Assembly of Women, and Mrs. Roosevelt the question, what does this all mean? At least 5 aircraft factories are set to start assembly line production of aluminum houses in the very near future, that according to Deputy Housing Expediter Robert A. Irwin. And in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, there was no stenographer at one session of the district court. Seems the court stenographer, Mrs. Elsie McQuaid, was the defendant. She paid a $10 fine for a traffic violation. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Monday, October 14th, 1946, on your radio, The Whistler, the conclusion of which you'll hear next on this Thursday Classic Radio Theater.
Does your business spend $500 a month or more on gas and electric bills? Did you know by making a simple free phone call, you can save up to 25% on your bill every month? What could you do with a 25% savings on utility bills every month? Energy deregulation is now available in your state. Making one simple phone call will show you how we can lower your gas and electric bills instantly, with no changes to your bill and no enrollment fee. This is a free service. The only thing you'll notice is a lower bill every month. Call U.S. Power and Light right now. Learn how easy it is to lower your utility bills for your business and save money. We promise. So if you spend over $500 a month on your gas and electric bills, please call right now and unleash your savings. 800-941-3381. 800-941-3381. 800-941-3381. That's 800-941-3381.
When you vote in Virginia, you can vote with confidence knowing every election is safe, secure, and accessible. Our certified election registrars and volunteers follow strict processes and procedures to make sure every vote counts. These safeguards include validating registered voters during early, absentee, and election day voting, voting machines that are never connected to the internet, and ballot boxes that are locked and sealed. Learn more at vote.virginia.gov.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours. Any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately, with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition, now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. That's 800-478-6084.
Rockstar Radio is looking for a co-host. Yes, you heard me correctly. Nationally syndicated radio show and popular podcast, Rockstar Radio with Billy Gerard, is looking for a co-host. In fact, 2 segment co-hosts. One will join Billy weekly talking about all things financial, and another for a weekly review of the national real estate and mortgage market. Co-hosting with Billy Gerard could be the move that puts your career into overdrive. For all the details and to schedule an audition with Billy, send an email to bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. Or go to rockstar.today/co-host for all the details. Rockstar Radio is looking for 2 expert co-hosts. It could be you. Email bill@rockstar.today or go to rockstar.today/co-host. Being on the radio with Billy will make you the expert in the field. It could take your career over the moon. Get all the audition details at rockstar.today/co-host.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook is ready to make this football season one to remember. All season long, you can score at Bet Rivers Sportsbook with free bets, odds boosts, and more. With player props, thousands of game lines, and live in-game betting, Bet Rivers Sportsbook delivers a best-in-class sports betting experience and has an experienced customer service team to back it up. Visit Bet Rivers Sportsbook today and bet this football season with the local trusted team that puts you first. Go to betrivers.com and be a winner.
Presented by Rivers Casino Portsmouth. Must be 21. Play in Virginia only. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Jackson Beck will be with us on Friday in an episode of the Case of Book of Gregory Hood. From 72 years ago, October 15th, 1949, the Carnival of Death, a hot blonde with a cool million, invites Gregory to drop around. That'll be on Friday's Classic Radio Theater, but right now the conclusion of The Whistler. 75 years ago, October 14th, 1946.
You gave her the fright of her life.
You know how she feels about these things, Amanda. Funny you'd bring her down to the graveyard at a time like this. Almost as if you...
As if what?
As if you were trying to scare her to death.
Why, that's nonsense, and you know it.
It might be. But it's a funny time for the 2 of you to be wandering around here, ain't it?
I took this flower home from the services. Bertie made me bring it back, and... what might you be doing here, Enoch Haskell?
I was taking a shortcut to your house. Thought I'd tell you the sheriff wants to see you, Amanda. And in case you're wondering, there's no body over there in the grave. Post-mortem, you know.
When does the sheriff want to see me?
Right now, Amanda. Right now.
Well, Bertie, at least it's done. The flower is back where it belongs. You're shaking now and cold, and your poor sick heart is thumping inside you. As Amanda helps you up the hill to the house, you glance occasionally at her, at the pale, determined face, the worried look around the eyes. She's wondering how much you know about that poison fruit, isn't she, Bertie? She knows she's going to have trouble explaining it to the sheriff. And you wish you could go with her instead of remaining home, alone, locked in the old house. It should be quite a battle. The sheriff is a very persistent man.
I'll get right to the point, Mandy. You and I grew up together in this town, but this here's an official matter, above personal feelings. Hope you understand.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
Don't need to tell you how this town loves a scandal, Mandy.
There's nothing scandalous about us and Captain Ethan, as far as I can see.
Maybe not. Only Doc thinks there's more to Ethan's death than meets the eye.
For instance, what?
It was poison killed Captain Ethan. The kind of poison found in home canned goods, preserves, for instance. Ethan ate his last meal at your house, Mandy. Ate him on the way home. Hello, Enoch. Have a chair.
Thanks, Sheriff. I'll stand.
Now, Manda, about the preserves.
What about the preserves?
Why, Ethan always said he loved your spiced peaches, Manda.
Well, what if he did? There's nothing wrong with my sliced peaches. I eat them myself all the time.
I'd consider it a favor, Manda, if you'd let me have a jar of those spiced peaches for the doctor to analyze.
What? You going to give her a chance like this, Fred?
I've got nothing to hide, Enoch Haskell.
Maybe not. And then again...
What do you mean, Enoch?
Well, I can't forget that look on her face down in the graveyard when she thought I was Ethan.
I think you're wrong. Known her all my life. She wouldn't harm a fly.
No? Well, I think she killed my brother. Give me 30 seconds with that weak-kneed sister of hers.
You keep away from Bertie if you know what's good for you.
Why, Amanda? Why? You afraid she might spill something? Is that it?
She don't know anything about this.
Don't get riled, Manda. Fact remains, Ethan died from poison, and he ate his last meal with you. Now, that can either mean some of the fruit spoiled, that he accidentally got some of it on his plate, or...
Oh, what?
Or it might mean he got it on purpose. In that case, of course, it'd be murder, wouldn't it? Now, I want you to go on home to dinner, Manda, and come back with them spiced peaches for Doc to analyze.
Sheriff, You're not going to get Bertie into this. She's such a frail thing, a weak heart.
Sorry, Manda. If Doc finds poison in them peaches, I'm afraid we'll have to talk to her. Now, if you don't mind, Enoch, there's something I want to talk over with Manda in private.
Where are you, Amanda?
In the pantry, Bertie.
Please come back and finish your supper. Getting cold.
Thought I'd get a little dessert together. And I've been rushed so today. Here's some cake and a few spiced peaches. Only enough out there for one helping. Here you are, dear.
I'd rather have the cake, Amanda.
You always were fond of spiced peaches, Bertie.
I don't feel like them tonight. Just the cake.
Funny how a body's taste can change. You didn't want 'em the night the captain was here, either.
It's nothing at all. Please, Amanda, just give me the cake. You said you had to hurry back to the sheriff. What does he want to see you about?
Nothing, Bertie. Just a few formalities about Ethan. I think maybe you'd better have some peaches. They're good for you, you know.
Amanda, I don't want them. Please.
Why don't you want them, Bertie? Why? Is something wrong?
Don't, Amanda.
Eat those peaches, Bertie, right now. Do you hear me?
Get away from me, Amanda. I won't eat them. I won't.
Oh, all right. All right, Matilda.
What are you going to do now?
Nothing. Nothing I can do, I guess.
I'm sorry, Amanda.
Sorry about what?
You hate me, don't you? You always have.
That's a queer thing to say.
But it didn't matter all these years, just hating me. Now it's different. You're afraid of me now. That's why you...
Go on, Bertie.
That's why you just tried to make me eat those peaches.
I was just finding out how much you know about Captain Ethan's death, Bertie.
You know now, don't you?
Yes, I know.
What you going to do?
Too late to do anything now, I guess. Would you pass me the peaches, Bertie?
Amanda.
Go on, give them to me. Hurry up.
Here you are, Amanda.
Might swell eat them myself, Bertie. No use letting them go to waste now. You know, they're mighty good. Always was proud of my spiced peaches.
You're too weak to get up from the table, aren't you, Bertie? That's why you sit there long after Amanda has left on her mysterious errand, still stunned by her bewildering decision to eat the fruit she knew was poisoned. It's almost an hour now since she left, and your heart is still pounding. The whole thing, the whole nightmarish day, has been almost more than you could stand. Amanda will die now, just as Captain Ethan did, somewhere out on the road, an hour or so after finishing dinner. At 9:30, the storm hits again harder than ever, and you stagger weakly into the hallway to lock the front door. She's only been gone an hour now, and yet there's a new feel to the loneliness of the quiet house. It's terrible to be alone like this, isn't it, Bertie? You almost wish Amanda would come back somehow, just to stay here in the house with you until this awful night is over.
Take it easy. Mustn't go too fast. Hello?
Sheriff Harris, Bertie.
Oh. Yes, Sheriff.
Wondering what happened to Amanda. How long ago'd she leave?
More than an hour?
It ain't like her to be late this way.
Sheriff, why did you want to see her?
About that poisoned fruit, Bertie.
Poisoned fruit?
Captain Ethan died from eating some of her spiced peaches, Bertie. We discovered it at the post-mortem this afternoon.
She knew there was no use. That's why she ate the peaches. Yes.
What's that, Bertie?
Nothing, Sheriff. I think you ought to search the road for Amanda.
Oh, nothing to get worried about, I reckon. She'll probably...
No, Sheriff. Now, please, go out and look for her right now.
You worried, Betty?
I think, Sheriff, I think Amanda is dead.
So Amanda is dead, Bertie. At long last, after 30 years living together, Amanda is dead and you're free. You leave the phone and walk slowly toward the cellar stairs. Yes, there are things to be done, Bertie. The doctor and the sheriff know about the poison preserves now, and they'll be here soon. You're sorry about Amanda in a way. It's too bad she had to die by her own hand, knowing it was coming. It's too bad she didn't die the night Captain Ethan came for supper, the night she graciously gave the captain her dish of preserves, simply because she didn't want them. While you sat across the table from them both, paralyzed with horror at the awful mistake, unable to say anything. Yes, Bertie, it's too bad Amanda didn't die on the night you planned to kill her. Down into the cellar now, yes. Over to the preserve cabinets, Bertie. Yes. To the bottom shelf. And the 2 jars of fruit you put a special mark on the day you found they were poisoned. Yes. And now to the sink. You smash the jars with a hammer and start to pour the fruit down the drain. Your hand slips. A sharp piece of glass cuts deep into your wrist, and a stream of blood rolls down your arm. You drop everything in the sink and run up the steps to find a bandage. The sight of the blood has made you weak and dizzy. You remember the napkins on the dining room table. Quickly, Bertie.
I better sit down for a minute.
And then there's a tap on the window. You raise your eyes.
Amanda! No, Amanda, you're dead. You can't come back. You're dead. Go away, Amanda. Go away.
And there's a cold, icy feeling around your heart. And darkness. And then not even darkness. Just nothing. And emptiness. And space.
Easy, Amanda. Nothing we can do now.
Well, I checked her.
What is it, Doc?
Fright. Her heart probably gave out when Amanda walked up to that window.
If only I hadn't forgotten my key. That was just like her, to lock herself in that way.
Yeah, Amanda. At least she did you her last kindness. Without meaning to, of course.
What's that, Doc?
She cleared Amanda of any implication in Ethan's death. Buddy got that gash on her wrist while she was trying to get rid of the poisoned jars down in the cellar.
I still can't believe she could have done it.
I know, Amanda. It was just as hard for me. Knowing how much you cared about her. There was only one way to convince you your sister Bertie was a murderess. To show you she knew that fruit was poisoned all the time. Even before she tried to give it to you the night Captain Ethan came for dinner.
Sheriff's right, Amanda. Don't you see? That's why we ask you to switch a good jar for the bad one out in the pantry and try her out on it. If she took it, she'd be innocent. If she turned it down...
But it wasn't fair. She must have thought I was trying to kill her.
Don't you see, Amanda? It wasn't for her sake we did it. It was for you.
She was so weak, so helpless.
But it was the easy way, Amanda. The easier way for her.
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Monday at 9. Brought to you by the Signal Oil Company, who have asked me to remind you, to get the most driving pleasure, drive at sensible speeds, be courteous, and obey traffic regulations. It may save a life, possibly your own. Featured in tonight's story were Martha Wentworth and Peggy Weber. The Whistler was produced by George W. Allen, with story by Jack Kelsey, music by Wilbur Hatch, and was transmitted to our troops overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is Marvin Miller speaking for the Signal Oil Company. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
As heard on the west coast of the United States 75 years ago today, October 14th, 1946, The Whistler, here on Classic Radio Theater. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Would you do me a favor? Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me there. classicradio.stream. And if you miss a day on this station, you do not have to miss a single show. Our shows are available on demand anywhere podcasts are served. Just search for USA Classic Radio Theater. Please do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we're around. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening, and tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater right here on your favorite radio station.
Get running this fall at Dunkin' with $2 medium iced coffees from 2 to 6 p.m. Try any of Dunkin's delicious iced coffee, like their signature original blend. Or treat yourself to mocha, caramel, or the fall favorite, pumpkin. Always freshly brewed, made just the way you like it. Make time for happy hour and enjoy a $2 medium iced coffee from 2 to 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
Virginia has a long history of shaping America and our democracy. That's why we're so passionate about making sure every election is safe, secure, and accessible to voters. Virginia Department of Elections officials and volunteers are dedicated to making sure your vote counts. Whether it's a race for school board or for the presidency, we have processes and safeguards to ensure safe, secure, and accessible elections. Learn more at vote.virginia.gov.